Manas,
Yes.
is the migration narrative a word being used against Kukis, creating a stereotype out of them? All these
Yes.
people have come from outside. Manas, is this correct? Is this what is happening?
They are coming through Myanmar, Nagaland, and also a part of Assam also. These people are coming and staying there. So that is the main problem. So there are number of groups engaged in the border areas. They are mainly involved in the smuggling of drugs, and also cutting of forest areas, and also they are trying to make inhabitants in the forest area also. So now the Métis are claiming deforestation should be stopped immediately, and at the same time arms smuggling should be stopped. Otherwise, we will not give up arms. We will not give up our arms until and unless this is stopped. Since the hilly areas people, they are having arms supplied by
But
China
Manas, I'm
and
saying, Manas, my question was, is this a stereotype? All cookies cannot be illegal migrants, na?
no, not at all, not at all, not at
All
all.
cookies cannot be illegal migrants. So the
Some are
question is
illegal
this a
migrants.
stereotype being used against them?
No, they are majority of the people, the Kukis are inhabitants of these areas of Manipur, but a section came from Myanmar.
Dr. Malem, it is such a unique state. Myanmar is a separate country. People living there of the same community have a point of view on Manipur. Nagas from Nagaland will have a point of view on Manipur. The Zo people in Mizoram have a point of view in Manipur. You have an expat population in Assam, they have a point of view in Manipur. So Manipur problem has a point of view from everyone. Manipur's problem has not remained Manipur's problem. It is like every state has a stake in the Manipur. So how do people of Manipur decide what they want to do for themselves?
See, after independence, when the Manipur constitution was adopted in 1948, there were communities and the elites, all who have come together and constituted the political community called Manipur. And we have been and the peoples have been living together peacefully and cordially for quite long of time. Unfortunately, and because of the weaknesses in the administrations and the governance, and the nature of the political economy that we have, structural inequalities, deprivations, marginalizations, and then communal reactions of the various kinds have cropped in, and a democratic forces cutting across communities, despite serious attempts, have still been remaining quite weak in our regions. Unfortunately, many of our people try to interpret the situations from a communal perspectives and try to find the solutions from the communal perspective, which becomes highly sectarian and have created havoc, leading to severe kind of classes like this in the past. But I still believe that there is still hope. There is a limit of the war. People become exhausted. Still, as I keep on contacting with people at the ground levels, there are among the Métis displaced Métis who want to go back to their homeland, the place from where they have been forced displaced. And there are other sections from the Kuki and Mijos who still were born and brought up in the valley areas and still have a nostalgia of the lands that they have departed. There are also other areas where peace committees have formed and peoples at their own initiatives have refrained themselves from attacking one another. So amid this chaos, we also have hopes and expectations. But all these, the mechanical kinds of political campaignings and provocative communal propagandas are trying to project that the peoples have completely lost trust in one another, which is not true to a large extent at the ground level. Peoples are concerned about their livelihood, about their peace, about the integrity or whatever it is.
The Naga MLAs are meeting Home Minister Amit Shah. What should we make of it? Why are they meeting them? How come why are Naga MLAs from Manipur meeting Amit Shah? Why is the issue of Nagalim affecting Manipur?
Nagalim has to affect Manipur because the very demand of Nagalim means the creation of a greater integrated Naga state by joining Naga inhabited areas of Manipur with the present state of Nagaland. So Nagalim, or the very demand of Nagalim, it definitely affects Manipur. It's a direct challenge to the territorial integrity of Manipur as it's seen. Now, why the Naga MLAs are meeting Amit Shah? The Nagas are very worried for three reasons. A, the peace talks or the political talks that the Nagas have been involved in with the government of India since 1997 has actually gone off the rails. And they think there is a very good reasons to believe that the present crisis in Manipur further complicates the whole issue. Therefore, the Nagas have a very valid reason. And the Naga MLAs, I'm fairly sure they want the peace process to go forward, and that's the reason they are meeting Amit Shah, so that the present uh, imbroglio in Manipur does not derail the Naga peace talks, Indo-Naga peace talks completely. That's number one. Secondly, well, in view of the problems that we have seen in Manipur involving the Meiteis and the Kukis, it definitely has some meaning for the Nagas as well, because the demand for autonomy, the demand for separation, all these things that have come up both in the Kuki and the Naga community because they think they're dominated by the Meiteis, whatever. I'm not getting into the merit of it. These are perceptions and allegations. But therefore, the Nagas would have very good reasons to push Amit Shah, A, to actually give a fresh momentum to the Naga peace talks, the Indo-Naga peace talks. Secondly, also in Manipur, they would definitely join the Kukis and push for greater tribal autonomy, without which they think that, they don't have much of a say in Manipur. So the demand for tribal autonomy, and I've repeatedly said in your program, that if the demands for tribal autonomy had been conceded long time back, this demand for separation would not have come. You ask for 5 rupees and you don't get it, then you start asking for 50, and that's the situation we find Manipur in. So the Nagas MLAs have very valid reasons, to meet Amit Shah. I won't be surprised at some point of time. On the one hand, for the Kukis, the Mizoram, parties and the government, as well as for the Nagas, the Nagaland, they will get involved in this whole thing. So this actually, the imbroglio in Manipur at the moment is not going to be limited to the state of Manipur. It will have severe ramification for the whole of Northeast.
Violence not stabilizing in Manipur. What is the reason, despite being immense presence of security forces, it is not happening? So why is violence not stabilizing in Manipur, Dada?
Can you repeat the question, Kartik? You just dropped off.
Why is violence not stabilizing in Manipur?
A, the passions have gone very high because of the nature of the killings. Yesterday also, the son of a Meitei headman was beheaded by Kuki militants. And you know what, Kartikeya, I've seen in Manipur and in some other parts of Northeast, when this kind of a thing happens, some of the underground groups, the insurgent groups, they fish in troubled waters. Because if everything is normal, they don't have much to do. The regular politicians take over, the regular civil society groups take over. But these groups who actually thrive by fishing in troubled waters, they have a vested interest in keeping this violence going for their different vested interests. So, the activity, the sporadic activities of the militant groups and those who have got themselves armed, because a large number of weapons have gone into hands which should not have been the case. For various different reasons that we have discussed already, this has happened. So a lot of people who are not authorized to use weapons, who are not uniformed forces, they have weapons with them. Now what happens? If I'm a trained policeman, but here policemen have also not equipped themselves well, but somebody who is trained to use weapons, it's not just the weapon, the gun in your hand, it's all the training, it's all the ethics that you are taught. Here are people now who have got these weapons, some of which has been recovered, but a lot of which has not been recovered. This is a very dangerous situation because all these guys have some axe to grind, either against a neighbor or against some business interest which they thought they would take over but could not. This is the time, after the big violence, when things are settling down, this is the time for a lot of these people to settle scores. And that's exactly what is going on. Yesterday's beheading at Payam is actually that kind of a case. So, and as far as the authorities are concerned, now I would imagine that the Manipur police is yet to get back its bearings. It has been ethnically and communally polarized. The Assam Rifles and the Indian Army, they have their limitations, because if they don't get a standard solid cooperation from the Manipur police, they will have an intelligence gap to fulfill, and it's not very easy because many of these troops have been deployed from other parts of the northeast, some from very far off, actually from the China border. So these guys would take a lot of time to actually get a proper bearing of the ground.
Ji.
And intelligence is the name of the game in this particular whole issue.